Right. So you start out. If you, I'm going to show you,
Oh, okay.
and
That is really small.
I know, but if you look on Paratorna, you'll see the big lake in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And that's the Malossi Lake. That's where you are. The northern edge there, the in northwest, that's the swamp, which is where Goblin and Ganfrid went, together with the rest of the group. They will be dropping you off on the northwest side there, which is north of the river, which is the black dash there, right? Show to players. There you go. That's better, I hope.
Oh yeah, that's much more readable.
Yeah. So let's go back to the Lake Malossi, smack in the middle there. Rants you can see jutting out into the lake. North of it is the swamp. And they will drop you off just on the edge of the swamp on the western shore, northwestern shore of the lake.
So the swamp is that the Sumbra Treskin?
Yes. So from there, going to the capital of Tresilva, which is northwest there, that's a river, as you can see. And you'll be passing by Masmatra, and you'll be passing by Kamesti, and then Outerfroth again. It's just the same way you came, right?
Yeah.
But the moment you get out into the Crusander Viken, as you can see up there, that's ocean. But you can also see that between Tresilva there and the northern tip of Paratorna, that's a long way to go by land.
Yeah.
And that's going to take you an extra, weeks. So traveling by ship from Tresilva, the capital, to the northern edge.
I was under the impression that the Wolferwood was on this island. Like, I didn't know Paratorna was a separate island. I thought it was a different state on the island.
Yeah, no.
So that's where I...
Okay. Yeah, no, that's...
So, yeah.
The Wolferwood is...
I'm perfectly fine taking the boat ride, because I'm going to have to take a boat ride anyway.
Yes, you will.
Might as well effectively minimize the time I have to take the boat.
Yeah. Well, if you minimize the time you take the boat, you're still going to maximize land travel, but you're going to get to the closest port on Transmira, if we go back to the Tracoria map. So I'll show it to players, and I'll enlarge it here. So you have the northern tip of Paratorna as the island on the right, right?
Yeah.
And the closest port on Transmira, which is where the Wolferwood is right on the southeast edge there. So going from Tresilva, the capital of Paratorna there, takes about 4 days up to Vumbra. Provided that the winds are good. And you don't encounter a storm or something. It is still Fateska, which is March. So bad things can happen. But other than that, yeah, that's you have about a day or so of sitting on a barge downriver this time, so it's faster. And then when you get to Vumbra, of course, you can just take the land route along the coast up to the Wolferwood. It's a couple of days. It's going to take slightly longer on foot than by ship, but at that point you're not losing a week if you take the land route.
Yeah.
And you've traveled that way before.
Yeah, that's acceptable. Like that's something Rowri would be like, yeah.
I'll do it.
It's like I gotta take a boat anyway.
Yeah.
I can just fucking swim.
And to make a long story short, getting a barge. I mean, you have the cash box.
Yeah.
But I don't think you're going to have to spend a whole lot of that, because you also have the Inquisition badge, the clay seal of the Inquisition, and basically going up to series of different officials. That's what you've been doing so far, a whole lot, and saying, I have a mission from the Inquisition, and I need to get a barge, and you will help me with this, please. Will probably speed things along. Now, Malusa is in the hands of Duke Yalsopta Kamesti. I don't know what your feelings about him would be.
Honestly, I can't even, I've heard Logan doesn't even remember the significance of him. So it's just like, I don't think Rowri particularly cares. It's just another soft, hairless noble.
Let's just say that Rowri has the sense that everything is going remarkably well. When he gets to... the first obstacle is getting across Malossi Lake, if we start at the beginning. That becomes a bit of a pain in the neck, because the lake, the night you leave Rance, is becalmed. There's no wind at all. Which means that you can't sail across the lake, which means that you have to row across the lake. And I'm sure that you and Gistaki will take turns together with others, but it's really... you're bigger than anyone else on the boat, except possibly Gistaki. So, between the two of you...
I'm taller than Gistaki, but he's a lot brawnier than I am.
Yes, he is. Yes, absolutely. But body mass type, you're not too far off.
We're both about 15.
Yeah. So, between the two of you and some others, you will get yourself across the lake. It's a really annoying night because of the lack of wind, which means that there's a lot of work for you and him. But you get there, and you can take a nap and have a little bit of a sleep on the shore side. This is, generally speaking, very secure lands. It's in the heartlands of the Empire. You haven't been here,
the assassins are going to be looking for the group. They're not going to be looking for one guy who knows how to disappear into the woods.
Exactly, so...
Because before I was an Inquisitor, I was a hunter.
Yep. Oh yes, you know how to disappear into the woods. So, you spend, I guess, a few hours just after the sun comes up, sleeping somewhere in a shrubbery. And then it's time for you to get yourself to, I guess the closest thing would be Masmatra, just to get a barge. That's again the city that smells a lot of Silvolium and other things. So does Kamest, by the way. But when you get there, there will be... it's a walled city. Because of it's a high-value port. Now the walls are very, very old. It's from a time centuries ago when there was more open warfare on the island, so they're not terribly well maintained. Let's see now. Just flip to the page here, so I can describe it a little bit for you, because I don't think I have before. Well, there isn't a whole lot to add. It's quite similar to Kamesti, but a bigger port, because just about all the traffic that goes across the lake ends up here. Lots of warehouses, lots of Silvolium refineries.
What is Silvolium again?
Silvolium is the sap that comes from a particular type of tree. that is turned into the sap is turned into sylvolium and is used to burn. It's kind of like kerosene. This world's equivalent to kerosene.
Okay.
So that's what people use for lamp oil. And it's also an ingredient in wildfire. And you would know this. You don't know how to make wildfire because you're not an apothecary. But being from Transmira, you've seen the rebels, the Rugli rebels in the north, have used wildfire against Drakarian shipping, which is why they cover their ships in asbestos nowadays.
Oh yeah, okay. I remember you describing that a long time ago.
And when you went over to Marjura, the ship had barrels of sylvolium was lining the deck because it's a good defense against sea serpents.
Yeah.
So this is one of the industrial centers for that particular product. The duchy is the one under the Duke of Kamest, and the officials here, when you're getting yourself into the city, city gates, they will look at your papers and so on, and they will very quickly direct you to the port where you can find a barge, and people are very willing to help the. Are you wearing the badge on your clothes at all? I thought you said that before. Yeah. So
yeah, I fashioned it. I think it was a light blue sash.
Yeah, exactly.
And
where you have it.
Pinned the sash with the badge.
Exactly. So they will be very, very cooperative, and they see the emissary of the Inquisition. Then of course we will arrange a place on a barge for you to Tresilva. Absolutely not a problem. Good sir.
As a point of housekeeping, when I put the sash on with the badge when I'm in a populated area.
Yeah.
But as soon as I leave, like civilization, I take it off because a light blue sash will be very visible in the woods.
It would be. Yeah, so they speed you on your way. They only charge a few miracles. It's just to keep people fed and stuff. But there's no attempt at haggling or stripping you of your cash, as you can tell.
Yeah. Well, because not only am I a very tall wolfen wearing the sash and badge of an inquisitor, but I'm also festooned with weapons.
Some of those weapons are very nice looking. I mean, the hilt of Sturmendrang with those jewels on a clear day, and there's a lot of clear days, it glitters very nicely.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's more than one thief that would like to get their hands on that.
Well, that's why I keep that one sort of tucked towards the back, so that my cloak covers it, because same reason as I hide the badge, it would be too visible in the woods. But, wind catches me just right, you can catch the glitter, and then a thief is going to get his face bitten off. Because we have long since established that you have to be very, very good to get the drop on me.
Yes, you'd have to. Yeah, I don't think anyone is messing with you. At least not yet. At least not in these parts.
These aren't Skyrim NPCs.
No.
And walking down the road, sees a guy dressed head to toe in the bones of dragons. He looks like a good mugging target.
I have a knife.
I have an iron dagger.
Yeah. That's gonna go over
studded
well.
leather armor. I'm gonna roll this guy for his money.
Yeah, that's not what's gonna happen here. So long story short, you're gonna get to Masmatra by mid-afternoon. By evening, you're gonna have a barge, and overnight, I mean, you can sleep on the barge. It goes down river. The river is taking it. They don't have to wait for a wind or tides or what have you.
I probably catch the sleep whenever I can.
Yep. Let's just have some fun with possible thieves. Yeah, roll a wind plus your smell, so that's a 3. Just to see if there is anyone stupid enough. I don't think I put your skills here. You have to tell me your skills. You have your character.
My skills?
Yes, your abilities. I haven't put them on your sheet here.
I have Huntsman 1, the expertise is Master Tracker.
Yep.
I have Marksman 1, expertise is Hawkeye.
you just know where people are.
Yeah. I have Swordplay 2, that's Powerful Sword and 2 weapons. And I have Berserk 1, expertise is Maim.
Yep.
I know where people are, and I know how to take them apart.
Yes, you do. Oh dear. 4 people who get in your way.
And I rolled a 6.
Yep. That thief is... I'm sure there's some thief that is trying to get to your stuff when you're sleeping. It's probably going to be in... I'm not sure if it's on the barge.
He's already a dumb thief for trying to steal from someone who's so obviously physically intimidating.
Yep.
But you'd have to be an exceptionally dumb thief to try and rob me while on the barge, because where are you going to go? I'm going to wake up, I'm going to see you have my very shiny sword, and I'm going to fucking kill you because you can't run anywhere. It would have to be at the dock. But yes, he would probably try.
But why not someone is at the docks down by Tresilva? That might make more sense, because that place is a wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Yeah.
I mean, if we look here at the map, I'll show the players. Zoom in. It's just looking
that's a good map.
Yes, it is a good map. And you can tell just what a hive it will be, right?
Yeah. It's actually a proper city.
It is a proper city. Well, it's the capital of the empire, so there's a lot of people.
I completely forgot about that.
So a lot of people live here. So there's going to be one person trying to... you're probably getting up to the barge port, which is you can see it in the smack and dab in the middle on the north shore there, Promhamnen.
Mm-hmm.
And someone is just going to try grab probably your purse, anything that's hanging loose, and run like hell because you look so fine, and not get very far.
I'm gonna say, I was loading, I had the cash box out, and I was loading up.
Exactly.
A wallet for myself, so that I wouldn't have to pull the cash box out for every little thing.
Yeah, and some gemstone is glittering very nicely.
Yeah. And he just rushes by and grabs it, and doesn't. He thinks I'm going to be too distracted, but I kind of saw him coming out of the corner of my eye.
Yep.
And he doesn't take into account that because I'm crouched down, he doesn't know how long I am. and so he's actually really fast and good at what he does.
Then I think this is a
I
street
just have,
urchin.
like, a fucking 5-foot reach.
I think this is a street urchin, probably a slightly older one, say 14 or 15. Young enough to make a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Old enough to be pretty skilled and fast. And to try to do something rad to impress his friends.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't turn out well this time.
No. So I have him grab him by the scruff.
Yup.
Pull him around to face me.
And now there will be intimidation.
And I just get my wolf stare on him, low growl in my throat, and I just hold up my hand, waiting.
Yeah. There will be giving back of cash box, and then there will be possibly really wet pants, and then there will be shaking and hoping to get away from the big bad wolf.
It's like I'm just trying to think.
Which I don't think that this kid is doing, because when you do all that, there will be guards coming up. See, you caught a thief!
I have.
I'll take care of this one for you.
Thank you.
And off this person goes to face Drakarian justice.
It's like, that could have opened up a door for like a whole bunch of RPR opportunity, but maybe if Gobbin were here. Rowri is just too pragmatic. He's like, I could personally teach this guy a lesson, but... Because, like, I was legitimately mulling around in my brain, just like, do I want to maybe, like, give him, like, a scar to remind him that I could have killed him but didn't, and he should turn his life around? But then the guards come up and it's like, yeah, we'll take it from here. To which I go, well, okay. I have a time frame to keep, and I really don't care about these furless monsters.
Yep. And as you do, the a port official will come and ask if he can do anything to help the Inquisition on this fine day.
Actually, yes, I need to charter a vessel, or not necessarily charter a vessel, to, I'm going to Trinsmira, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
To Vumbra, to be specific.
Just like, how can I help you? Actually, yes, you can help. I need to, take a vessel to Vumbra.
Very good. We shall see to it immediately. Let's see now. There are several capture masses standing by for official errands. They will send you to... So, if you pull up the map again, that island that sits right before Lac Mundri there.
The Stones Uda?
Yep. That's a military base. There are several galleys there, but there's also a whole bunch of catamaras. That's the catamaran-style ships.
Okay.
And they regularly sail with mail and so on, orders that go from the garrison up to Vumbra, because Vumbra is absolutely chock full. It's a huge Drakarian military base. So they will basically put you on one of the postal units, postal ships.
Excellent.
It's going there anyway.
That's very convenient.
So you have half a day to spend in Tresilva. What do you do?
Oh, jeez. Well, I'll definitely go get some food and drink and whatnot. Go get my victuals.
It's not hard to do in the city, obviously, because it's Tresilva.
Well,
It's still around freezing, so people are not half dressed yet. That comes in a couple of months. But you will, excuse me, be able to see all sorts of folks here. I mean, this is the capital; it has everything. It has an academy, which you're not interested in. It has the Chronolob, which you're also not interested in. But that's a primary sort of tourist attraction. Seeing it's some kind of mechanical steam engine powered timekeeping device. Huge statue that has all sorts of moving parts. It's over by the Septavium, which is on the left side there.
Kind of like if the Greeks developed a clock tower.
Yes, exactly like that. And the statue standing on top of two really big boilers, out of copper, is a statue of Castique, with her 3 arms and 3 legs. The 6 arms and 6 legs.
Okay, I was just like, that is a weird amount of limbs. Like an inconvenient amount of limbs. You kind of want an even amount of limbs.
Yes, you do. You will also be able to see in the throng and rush of people some of the nobles with their very, very outlandish wigs. Nowadays, you have to have apparently at least 2 stories in the wigs. Some of them have a birdcage in there. They will be transported in a carrier, which is carried by slaves, very powerful slaves.
Oh, so like palanquins.
Yes, palanquins, yes. And this is mixed into all sorts of, normal people who just sell fish or mussels. You'll see all kinds. There are maybe not too many elves around here, but you'll see dwarf crafters doing their trade here and there. There will be marsh people who sell mussels and all sorts of seafood. They're experts at catching it, of course.
Of course.
There are some wolven here as well.
Excellent.
Yeah. If you look south of the city, I don't think Rowri is going to go there, but
no.
Half peoples are not allowed to live inside the city walls, typically, except possibly dwarves. So the Wolven certainly are not here.
So they live people who are actually half people.
Yes. So they live south of the gate, the southwestern gate, and basically they're slumlords. I mean they can do. They have a whole lot of clout in that, but you won't see too many of them because you're not going to be around the slums.
Yeah.
There is a racetrack. If you look at number 15 there, the Hippodontium.
Where's number 15?
That's mid left.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, it looks like a circus.
Yep. Well, it's inspired by the Hippodrome in Constantinople. The entire east side of the city is for the really high nobility, including the imperial palace.
See, I would have thought the right side of the city, like the east side of the city, would be for the richy rich folks, because those look more like estates.
Yeah, no, those are for the richy rich folks. That's the high nobility. That's the same thing. High nobility and the imperial palaces. Certainly
you said
not.
the left side of the city, so
the right
west
side. Sorry, the east side. That's what I meant.
Okay, I'm just like, that looks a little too clustered to be rich town.
The the west side is absolutely the slums, and also the south side there. The number 9, smack dab in the middle, is the Freedom Park.
Ooh, that seems like a nice place to visit.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Lots of flowers. Well, there would be if it wasn't March. Yeah. It even has a zoo.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
A menagerie.
Yep.
In March there'd be flowers starting.
Yeah, it's still.
Get like the tulips and shit would be starting to bloom because. Or
true enough,
whatever fantasy analog we have for tulips, because those bloom early. They're a hardy plant.
It's still very close to freezing temperatures, but yes, it's getting there. The earliest ones. Yeah. Then I suppose otherwise just the port area has all sorts of taverns and whatnot that could satisfy a traveling official such as yourself. I mean, there's no way that you're gonna see all of Tresilva in an afternoon.
Yeah. No, even just like half a day. Yeah, you can't even see Edmonton in half a day. Much less a imperial capital.
So yeah, that's the biggest city he's ever been in.
Yeah. I would imagine he's been in it before.
Yes, he has. You've been through here a couple of times. You went through here on the way to Clomelia all those years ago.
Yeah.
You went through here when you came with Sir Roland, going north towards Marjura, and you stayed here for a few days, so you would know at least the central parts of the city. And of course, you just recently went through here on the way to Runts. So you probably even know some tavern that you like to hang out in.
Yeah, I have a favorite. I've been here enough.
Yep. So you'll have a meal there, maybe a little bit of drink, and take in the latest news. And this is when you learn the news that Edville Hustler is dead.
Wait, wasn't he that guy that we just saw, like a little bit ago?
No, that was the Pietro Pachalba.
Hmm.
No, Edville Hustler was the illusionist that you were fighting on Palamux.
Oh, yeah.
It was his daughter that was trying to help you.
Yeah. I think I wasn't there for the end of that arc.
That's true. Tindri didn't like it.
No, I would imagine she wouldn't.
She didn't accept that help at all.
I do remember that.
Yep.
That was when I got poisoned.
Yes. So, yep, no, that's how that turned out. But now apparently he's dead. Very recent news. Just in from Palamux. Garagormgal, the Blood Wader, killed him.
The Blood Wader?
Yep, Blood Wader. He wades in blood.
Huh.
Everybody knows that he is the terror of all the mercenary captains, of all the condottiers. He is the most merciless, the most bloody. He literally likes to wade in the blood of his enemies.
I remember him because when I was looking to join up with a mercenary band, I met him and I did not like him. So I signed up with What's-Her-Face instead. Volpini Two Swords.
Yeah, it takes a particular kind of ruthlessness to join Garagormgal's army.
Yeah.
But at least that's going to make your job a little easier, isn't it?
Definitely.
One less anti-creationist to deal with.
Yeah. And I wasn't exactly sure how we were going to stop him, so...
Nope. Well, Garagormgal has something you don't. Armies.
Yeah. It's like we got an elf. And a wolfman who's very good at killing, but...
Against an illusionist, that might be tricky.
Yeah. A little easier to get the drop on him, but am I getting the drop on him or a Heartlight creation?
Exactly. Anywho, after that, you get yourself on the Catramas together with the rest of the post going to mercenaries of all kinds and guards of all kinds in Vumbra. And by the time that the sun is sinking on the horizon, you are off towards the north, sailing along. I'm going back to the Partorna map here. Whoop. Sure, where's boom there along the shore, and this is a coastal sail, right? So it's not, the Catramas is not really made for deep ocean at all as a vessel. It sticks to the coastlines. That's the best sailing for it, which also means that you're not going to have to go through the deepest seas for the most part, and that saves Rowri a little bit of stomach ills because the waves are not going to be that high.
It's like, well, I mean, a little known fact, it's not quite so much just the rocking, like, it's not just seasickness that he doesn't like, it's also, he's from the woods. He doesn't like looking at an expanse of nothing.
Yeah, no, it's
like
causes him.
The open ocean just gives him insight. That's why he doesn't mind river travel. Like, it's sloshy, sure, but I can swim in a river. I can get off anytime I want. Whereas in the ocean, it's like, what the fuck am I going to do when I'm 4 months at sea? It's like, the only thing standing between me and oblivion is a hopefully well put together chunk of wood.
Exactly. And also just the probably I would say the a bit of it's not agoraphobia outright, just this feeling of emptiness and just expanse and being exposed to the elements when you're standing on a sea deck. I mean, there's nothing to hide.
Yeah. Fun fact, that's actually why most of the sailors in the Canadian Navy are pulled from the prairie provinces.
Yeah.
Because we're used to looking at vast expanses of nothing and not freaking out about it. It's like, lots of Regina boys in the Navy.
There's a lot of similarities between the prairies and the oceans in that sense. And the first thing that happens, you've hardly gotten very far north, when you get becalmed. I mean, it's a brilliant day. It's just north of freezing, so it's not that cold. But the ocean is pretty much just blank. No waves, no winds. You can row. Well, the crew can row a little bit, but it's not made for that. So you're not getting very far the first day at all.
I gotta just help out the crew fish.
Yeah. They have stores for just, in case of any emergencies. This is the season of storms too, so at least up north where you're going, so they always carry some extra stores with them. But that whole day, you're not making much headway at all.
Yeah.
So you get a night on the boat, and during the night, the wind finally starts picking up. And the moment that happens, this particular vessel is like like an arrow shot from a bow. It catches that wind, and it is fast. And this type of breeze that you're getting is probably the best kind of weather it can have, and it comes from just the right angle, because that means that there's still not too much in waves on the ocean.
It's a good smooth cut.
Yeah, it gets a very smooth cut. So you are racing north during the night, picking up a lot of lost time. And the whole next day, you're racing north just like this, and you probably pass Fam Coalvi, the big statue of Castique, that's just north of Tresilva there, during the night. So you couldn't see the gilded statue of Castique. It's several meters tall, right on the edge of a cliff, 6 arms and 6 legs, visible from afar, because the sun will glint in it as well. And you keep going north, and the next city there is the city of Ciola, which is the Imperial Armory. And you'll smell that long before you get close to that city. You won't get into that city, you're passing it by, but you can see it in the distance, like a dark splotch along the coastline. That's where most of the ships of the Imperial Navy are made, but also a whole lot of war machines, trebuchets, and whatnot. And a lot of the Kruta is made there as well. The powder. And then your luck runs out again, and you are becalmed once more. And this time it's becalmed with clouds. Much better, eh?
Oh, definitely.
This is the first time you see clouds in 3 or 4 days, actually.
Weird.
Yep.
It's the season of storms.
Yeah, it depends on exactly where you are. Paratorna is warmer than Transmira, but you haven't been to Paratorna a whole lot, so the weather patterns here are a bit freakish for you. So that's another lost day without getting much of anywhere.
I mean, just one lost day, because I made up the last time when we had good wind.
Yeah, possibly. Again, the wind picks up again by night, probably because as the temperatures shift, air starts moving again. So between when the sun goes down and night falls, that's when you have a lot of temperature shifts over land and over ocean, and that makes the wind start to move. So you start speeding again. That city on the top there, Min Mazuldra, you've passed it by before. Don't go in there, because it's even worse than just it's a city in decay, and you can smell that decay when you pass it by. Those fires that you see there, some of them are probably houses on fire that nobody cares to put out. So it's gonna be passed by really fast. And after that, you come out onto the open ocean. And you have to get yourself through that sound between Paratorna and Transmira, and this is where it gets wavier, choppier, more likely to get seasick for those who are prone for that.
Yeah.
But you will get, on the day after that breeze picked up again, sometime around noonish, early afternoon, you will finally reach Vumbra. It is cloudy. It is below freezing now. And the city is... Well, you remember this place. You've been here so many times. All the smoke that comes from the smelters, the iron ore smelters, the refineries for all that iron ore and all the other metals that are being mined from the Himbagon Mountains. This is the city where you were rooting out that anti-creationist infestation, the hospital.
Oh yeah.
The remains of the Shagolite Hospital. So you're back to that place again. And the postal service has brought you here, and they will be off and do their thing, and you can do your thing.
Excellent.
So what will you do?
Well, I waste no time. I start heading towards in the direction I'm supposed to.
You weren't gonna talk to the Inquisition? It has an office here. First time you don't have an office. There are no offices on Paratorna to speak of.
I suppose I should. All right, I'll find the Inquisition office first.
Great. Your old friend, the halfling, is still there. She is not the senior ranking officer anymore. But she is happy to see you.
I'm happy to see her too.
And wonders what she can do for you.
Well, I actually have an assignment. I need to go provide a message for Shaman on the Wolferbud.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Well, best of luck with that. Do you need to stay the night here?
What time is it?
I'd say it's sometime midday. Maybe 2 or 3, maybe mid-afternoon.
Okay. That's not dally too long. A bit of a time frame. Apparently assassins are after some oracles throughout the land, and then I show her the... actually, would I have taken that? I don't know if I would have taken that.
Which one?
Well, we got the parchments for the Vox Ranzina.
Right, the secret verses. I don't know if you would have taken it, but if you wanted to have copies made, you certainly could have.
I feel like that would probably help my mission.
Yep, okay, you have some copies. Tindri certainly made copies for herself.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep, you can absolutely show her the verses.
Yeah.
And when she sees the verses, her jaw will drop, and she will look at you once, and then twice, and then... This is part of the Vox Ranzina, you say?
It is. Some secret verses given to me by... What was his name?
His title is Pietro Petralba.
Oh, I thought his name was Pietro.
No. It's all derivative of Peter, as in rock. So he's the father of the White Rock.
It's like it was given to me by the Pietro Petralba himself before he was slain by assassins.
Yeah, we heard of that just yesterday. Terrible news. This is very alarming. Secret verses. He was slain. What does that mean? 4 eyes? I do not understand. Do you
I'm
mind
not
if Do you mind if I copy these?
I don't.
It shan't take long. I'll have you a cup of mocha and some food brought along for you. We can
Alright, I would
help
appreciate that.
prepare your travel. Give you some foods and whatnot.
Thank you.
And you are traveling to meet an oracle, you say?
Correct.
And how is that connected to the verses again?
The verses describe several oracles.
They're about oracles.
Lines 45 through 48 are the one I seek.
I understand.
I can never remember her name. The shaman of the Wolferfoot.
Rauga.
Right.
I would like to contact. I would like to speak to Aeon Saulani about this.
Whatever you think is best.
I think it's best. Certainly.
I just have to make sure I get to the Wolferfoot before the assassins, so
Oh, absolutely.
time is a factor.
Yes, I'll write this down as fast as I can, and she starts scribbling it down. And well, obviously, she isn't used to using a quill and paper since before, so that's going to be pretty fast. And then she helps loading you with all the sorts of equipment you need for forest travel. Mostly just food, I'm guessing, because you know your way around the forest already.
Yeah. It's like I appreciate the trail rations because though I can feed myself, that takes time, and time is a factor. So.
Exactly. And aside from that, she is going to help you along the way. And since we have now played for 1 hour, and a whole lot of shadow actors are present in Wumbra and Kark, and I want to give them a chance to help or hinder you on the way, I think this is a very good place to call it.